Good evening and welcome to the David Braley Athletic and Recreation Center here in Hamilton, Ontario. And now the regular season is behind us. It's now a new season as playoffs are here. Tonight we have an OCAA qualifying match between the 4th-ranked Mohawk Mountaineers in the West Division who play host to the 5th-ranked in the East Division Georgian Grizzlies in what should be a fantastic matchup. Two evenly matched teams. You have the Mohawk Mountaineers who finished 4th. We're 13-5 with 26 points on the year. And you have Georgian who finished 14-6 with 28 points on the year. Georgian is 7-3 on the road, which is a good road record. And Mohawk is 7-2 at the D-Bark. So for Mohawk, if they want to come out of this game victorious and move on to the OCAA tournament, they're going to look to Eric Gerard to continue to lead the way for this team. He leads the Mountaineers with 4.1 points per set, 192 kills, 3.43 kills per set, and 386 total attacks. So look for Gerard to be all over the place if the Mountaineers want to move on to the tournament. And for the Grizzlies, look for Jason Grimm. He's only played in 14 out of 20 matches this year, but his numbers stand out. He leads the team with 4.1 points per set, and he's second behind Darian Haynes with 182 kills, and he's played 6 less matches. He also has 424 total attacks and 3.42 kills per set. So him and Gerard are pretty even. So look for Grimm and Gerard to go at it. And both these teams want a berth in the OCAA tournament next weekend. So stay tuned. First set is next. I have a special guest with me doing color commentary, the head coach of the women's varsity team, Andrew Nicholson. So how's it like to be on this side of the court for a Mohawk game?
Well, for a Mohawk game, it's kind of different because, as I said to you in pregame, I do a lot of the Sheridan games, do the color and play-by-play for the Sheridan game. So this is a little different doing a home game. I'm usually sitting up in the stands watching these guys play. This will be exciting, Kyle.
And I mean, if you look in the crowd, pretty good crowd. They all got the thunder sticks, and if you look, there's most of your team here to support the men's team, which is nice to see.
Yeah, they're a great bunch of ladies, and they said we're going to be here and supporting the guys and putting a lot of Orange Crush in the stands today.
And if you want, you can chat with us on YouTube. Any questions, comments, just want to tell us how we're doing, let us know in the chat section. But both teams are on the court here. Referees just double checking the lineups. Crowd's already into it. Everyone's got those thunder sticks. They're about to get rolling for a playoff match.
Yeah, you picked it up pretty well there, Kyle. The interesting thing is Eric's on a roll. You mentioned, I saw your pregame. Eric's on a roll, and Mr. Grimm on the other side is, in fact, the Grim Reaper. That'll be an interesting situation.
And the interesting thing about him, Georgian's played 20 matches this year. He's only played in 14. He missed 6 in the middle, and he's still one of the better players, but we're back underway here as Haynes misses that serve.
That's a terrible way to start. That's no fun.
And this crowd is loud already. It's nice. The atmosphere is nice. So now you got Trevor McLaughlin back to serve. The crowd kind of quiets down, but you got a little, looks like some varsity Georgian woman players here, but they get it up in the middle, and McLaughlin gets it. Spack lays out for it.
That's nice. It's a nice quick in the middle. It opens up the defense a little bit, and they hit P1, position 1. Nice swing by Georgian to start the match.
Matt Kerr was up there and got the hit. Now serving is Liam Gray, number 1 for the Grizzlies. His spinner, another missed serve for the Grizzlies.
That's not good. 2 in a row. The coach is going to be starting to pull out his limited hair already.
Not how you want to start a match, especially one like this. One win or your season is over. So here's Charlton, gets it over. Nguyen passes it up. Gray to Kerr. That one lands out. Point for Mohawk again.
Colin McDougall on the line. He sees that, and it just goes outside. Matt Schnarr, coach says, yep, I'm agreeing with that point.
Always nice to have an alert bench like that to let your team know when it's possibly going out like that. And Spack gets it up. There's Grimm, the guy we're talking about. Hancock rolls it over, and a net call on Georgian. See that hit by Grimm. Grimm, the amount of power he possesses, but
yeah, that man was up there high, went over the block, and Chris Spack was in great position. Though one thing Matt Schnarr does, he lays out his defense really, really well.
Here's Charlton with his floater again. Nice serve Gray serves this one out, and this one.
And that's going to be a call by the referee. The linesperson puts his arms across his chest, basically saying, I didn't see it, I don't know the call.
It's a lot better than making a call you didn't see, because that's definitely the wrong thing to do.
Absolutely.
Serves it over. Nguyen gets it up to Gray. The back set. Grimm off the block. Charlton's there. McLaughlin out to Gerard. Goes up off the block. Rosella gets it up. Gray. And miscommunication there between Nguyen and Grimm. Both looking at each other, and someone's got to call it. Someone's got to step up and send it over.
Yeah, you know what? The rule is the player coming in from the back, they see the ball longer, they take that ball. That's where the miscommunication came into play.
Here's Gray with the back set. Grimm goes up. That one sails long. Another point.
No
for
touch
the
anywhere.
Mountaineers.
No touch anywhere there, Kyle. It's a home run ball.
And it's really nice to see the atmosphere, the bench, Matt Schnarr, everyone into this game, and you just love that playoff atmosphere. And that lands just out. Good call by Nguyen in the back row to just watch that one sail over his head and see if Georgian can regroup here and get anything going as Jason Grimm is back to serve.
That ball's long.
Deep. That one just sailed. And this Georgian team needs to regroup now because they're...
Oh, Kyle, it's crazy. Mohawk's got 8 points and 3 missed serves. Basically, Georgian has given them 3 of those 8 points. That's actually, and 2 long swings. So that's 5 of 8 points that Mohawk didn't have to do anything.
Now you got Max Anderson back. Remember him from the last game. He had a spinner ace to win, and there's Gerard, goes up. This one saved. And Grimm from the back row. Caught me off guard. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that man's got a great swing. Like I said earlier, he reaches high. I mean, he got that ball at its highest point and swung right down. Very nice swing.
Here's Matt Kerr. Serves deep. Gets it over to McLaughlin. It's back with the quick to Wagner. It gets blocked. Nice save by Anderson. McLaughlin to Gerard.
And
that one's called out.
Yeah, the lines people are on the game right now. Kyle, you look at them. Dave up on the stand. He's looking at his lines people, and they're right on the match right now. It's excellent to see.
Different than high school, and you have another bench player just sent him over there. But here's Spack with the serve out to Gerard. A huge block.
Nice.
And this is what Georgia needed. They needed to get a little rally going, get back into this match. That's exactly what they did. Is they only trail by 3 now.
Yeah, there's the excitement, right? It comes off a block, and now the energy's in their limbs.
Kerr serves this one deep. McLaughlin with a nice pass up to Spack. Out to Gerard, goes up, and a huge kill. Looked like it caught Georgian off guard as no one was up to block him there.
Well, that was nice. It was a great quick release by Spack out to Gerard, and the block from Georgian couldn't get out there. That's a really nice call by Chris Spack at the setting position.
We've seen him excel all year. Takes that leadership role and dominates it. Nice little quick there by Darian Haynes.
Yeah, that's a nice answer back. Same thing. It was quick out of their hands. It was just a little bit of what we call a push. Moved outside the middle blocker, and he put it down. Nice swing. Real nice swing.
It's only 9-6 in this first set, and it's back and forth. A crazy match we have here. And a back row hit. Max Anderson gets the kill.
That was beautiful set, what we call second tempo, Kyle. First attacker went up. Holt took the block with them. Second attacker came in from the backcourt and scored that. That's lovely. That's a great positioning by Mohawks players there.
And it seems like Max Anderson, almost like seeing him from this year, likes to fly in from the back row more than the front row. That one just...
Yeah, that's the right call that came off the top of the block. There's no question. Colin McDougall on the far line there called that one. That was the right call on that one.
It looked like the ball did a weird thing at the net, so you had to think something was up.
Yeah.
Now you have Trevor Rosella back to serve. Gets it to Tonin, who's wearing the Lib jersey today. Back row Gerard. A huge kill for Gerard. Comes flying from the back row.
No, that's a backcourt attack, Kyle. Yeah, he stepped on the line. He came in from the backcourt. You've got to make sure you stay behind the 3-meter line. So that's a turnaround. Good call on both officials' part there.
Little miscommunication because I don't think Georgia knew they got the point. I didn't know until later on.
Yeah, true enough.
Here's Marcel again. Nice Serve, Chris back. Out to McLaughlin. Nice up. And it's saved.
Yeah.
Nguyen got it over. Gray with the nice play behind the referee up there, but
yeah, Nguyen took that a little bit too lackadaisical.
Yeah.
You know, when you see a big save on the outside, you don't want to make a mistake on that one, which Nguyen
no
did.
matter how easy you get it over, you just want to. And that's definitely not a mistake you want to see your lib make. Your sure hands in the back row. You don't want to see him second guess himself on a play like that.
You want to look at his body language right now. I'm sure Matt's going to serve right back at him. He's a beaten man right this time. Oh, he didn't. That's interesting.
It goes up, tipped off the block. Grimm gets it up. Rosella sends it over. Gerard. It's back. The quick to Charlton. Georgian strong on defense, gets it up. And Gray. It's back to McLaughlin. Gray out, and
that's a ball handling call.
Yeah,
that's a ball handling call. You can see when it came out of his hands, a little bit of spin on that, Kyle. So Dave got that one right away. Very good call.
Mohawk up 13-8, and Chris back serves right at Rosella. Gray out to Grimm, goes up. Outside of the sticks is the call.
Yep.
Good heads up call by the referee to see that. And I mean, you look at his positioning right down the line, he can see it way better than we can. So.
Yeah, good call. Colin McDougall again on that call down the line. Very good.
This one's short. Gray with the back set. Missed time jump right there by Haynes, and Gray saw what they wanted to do. They just couldn't execute it. And this is what happened earlier on. They went down, they gave Mohawk a few points. Now they just got to get a point and build off that and start a little rally.
Yeah, you see Matt Schnarr picking on the same player on his serve attempts now. He's going after number 8, and he's getting what he wants. What you're trying to do is get the team out of what we call out of system. And by serving at number 8, he's getting bad passes, so they can't get the ball out to Grimm. It's working perfectly. Great coaching by Matt Schnarr here.
Then a little miscommunication on the Mountaineer side as Chris Spack got stuck in the back row, and the ball just landed at the net. But here's Haynes, serves this one right to Tonin with a nice pass up to Spack. Anderson tips it. He gets stuffed right there. Tried to be fancy with the tip, but Georgia's having none of that.
Yeah, they were right there. That was a big double block, and no one's covered. They kind of probably thought that was going out.
Haynes serves this one again. This one goes deep, but McLaughlin's ready. Spack backs it back to McLaughlin. A huge block by Grimm.
That came off of the back of number 6 for us, McLaughlin, right? So that will be ball to Georgian, point to Georgian.
Like you said earlier, Grimm gets way up. First hits his blocks. It's incredible to see. And Gerard from the back row sends it long. And you can tell this is a playoff game just by looking at the team's reactions after a point. You see that one go over Nguyen's his head, and he jumps up in excitement like, let's go. That's exactly what this Georgian team does. They're streaky. They like to get a lot of points in a row. And off the block. Almost saved there. Looks like he could have got it up, but it was a tough position, so you can never really justify if he could. He gave it. He was on the ground after, so.
That's right. Let's see if Trevor goes after number 8 again. That seems to be the serving target, what we call serving target. What is he doing?
Spinner right at Nguyen with the nice pass up in the middle. Nice play by Kerr.
Yeah, they're attacking the middle with a lot of speed. This is part of the game plan. Seems like Georgian, they want to dominate the middle with quick stuff. So that's pretty nice. They hit a nice shot there.
Now Liam Gray, Georgian setter, back to serve. And that's an ace for Gray. They're pumped up. They needed a point like that. Mohawk's only up 16-14, and Gray, a sharp shooter behind the service line right there.
Yeah, this is a momentum substitution right now. So Eric didn't do any other communication a little bit on that pass, but this is a momentum changer.
Stephen Falk subs in for Gerard. Nice pass up by Tonin. Spack to Anderson. Tips it over. You hear Matt Schnarr say, be smart, and that's what he was. And Grimm gets stuffed by Anderson.
That was nice.
Smart play there. Anderson tips it over. and then Georgian gets it up, and then he goes up, gets the block. And
if you look at what happened there when Max tipped that over, they went a triple block on the outside and got a nice block out of that. That was really, again, good preparation by Mohawk on that.
The back set, and Grimm from all over the court.
He was getting that anyway. We were on the net, so Mohawk was on the net, so that's a free swing basically. So Grimm's back to serve now.
So now we'll see how lethal he is from the back row after his serve. He serves this one deep, right to Tonin. Spack, quick to Wagner. And Wagner's one of the players we didn't really talk about at the start of the year, but towards the last few games, he's really stepped up as a rookie.
Yeah, Matt's really happy with him. He's come an awful long way this season. And that was, again, that's a really nice push. That's a nice 31. That was really good.
Anderson right at Grimm. Gray with the back set to Kerr. And it's saved. Chris Spack gets it over. Out to Grimm. And Grimm again. Like I said, he had 424 total attacks going into this match, only playing 14 matches. So you know Liam Gray likes to feed him whenever and wherever he can on the court.
And he's got a good swing, I can tell you that.
Falk tight to the net, but Tonin saves it.
That's an interesting play by Spack. That's smart playing.
And a huge kill right there by Darian Haynes.
Going to say it again, Kyle. Georgian sees a weakness in Mohawk right now. They're going after the middle, especially in this rotation.
A huge kill there. That ball went down so fast, and miscommunication there between Falk and McLaughlin, and Falk just rolls this one over.
Got him out of system. This is good.
And Grimm again. And the quick to Wagner, and that one is out. All squared up at 18 here.
Eric's coming back in. It's just a little bit of a momentum shift. That's what we were talking about, right? Sometimes this game is all about momentum, Kyle. And right now, Big Blue over there have got the momentum.
Matt Kerr serves this one over. Gerard, Spack, back out to Gerard. A huge block, and that's in. You see how pumped up the Georgian small bench, but they're pretty pumped up. Nguyen pumped up after that, and you saw Darian Haynes, who got the block, so pumped up after this. They now take a 19-18 lead in this set. Spack out to Gerard, off the block. Liam Gray, the quick, and another point for Darian Haynes.
Yeah, again, I'm going to beat this dead horse, but that's another middle attack. Right, the coach really sees an opportunity here, and he's taking advantage of it. They're dominating the middle right now.
20-18, Georgia leads. Short serve right at McLaughlin. Spack with the back set. Anderson from the back row. Nice effort right there by Trevor Rossella to try and get that before the stick, but too much power on that Max Anderson hit to.
I think I'm the only person who called that hitting the antenna. None of the officials put the flags up. This is good. This is good. They got the control back now.
Gerard serves this one. Grimm to Gray. Out to Rossella. Tight to the net. Haynes just sets it to Gray. And it's blocked. A huge block as Mohawk ties this one back up at 20.
Yeah, Wagner got over there really quickly. He really exploded out to his left and made a good double block out there. Nice job by Wagner.
Gerard serves this one over. Rossella again. This one's tipped by Haynes over. Didn't get a great look at it. Patonin to Anderson. Rolls this one over. And Gray to the middle to Haynes. Max Anderson got a piece of it, just not enough to get it up.
Yeah, you got to come off, either you're blocking or you're coming off and play defense, one of the two. And right now, there's no man's land on that one.
Looks like both coaches are just letting teams play, not calling timeouts yet, just seeing this back and forth just to see.
Early in the match, my friend, early in the match. So we're going double switch now, I think. Yeah, we're going double switch now. So this is a smart move. Now you're putting a big man in. So you took your setter out, put a big man in now. Double block and then put in another setter. So this is good. This is
Matt
a smart
Snarrow,
move.
He likes to put in Chris Dashford for serving. He gets this one over right to Nguyen. Gray. Back row to Grimm. Triple block there. Marcelo rolls this one over. Anderson, Spack, out to McLaughlin, off the block. And you see that little celebration there by McLaughlin.
Nice.
As Mohawks up 22-21.
And my mistake, actually, Chris Spack stayed in, so we didn't go double switch. It's a serve change. And Libero coming in, and Middle comes back in.
Stashford serves this one.
Ooh.
Close. Good call on Nguyen's part to watch that one go.
Yeah, that's a tough one to give up, though. Yeah. That's hard.
Trevor Rosella. Right to Gerard. Spack. McLaughlin. And a huge kill for Trevor McLaughlin. So they take a 23-22 lead.
Now the rotation is in Mohawk's favor because right now you got Trevor McLaughlin swinging over the setter for Georgian. So that is definitely advantage on the left-hand side for Mohawk. So see if we go back out there. Now Charlie's in as well, so it makes a bit of a difference. But Trevor's got a definite size advantage over the setter.
Spack serves this one. Gray out to Grimm. And a huge kill by Jason Grimm. It's just crazy how he gets up from everywhere, and he's one of the most impressive players I've seen. I've been covering games since November, and his swing is just
pretty dominant.
To Gerard.
That was nice. That was nice.
Huge kill from the back row. And now Trevor McLaughlin will go back to serve for the set. Now a timeout is called by head coach Reed Saxby, his first year with the team. What a crazy back and forth set we've had so far. Let's take a look at some replays from this jam-packed first set.
You can see Spack here. He's making some great setting decisions. That's Max from the backcourt. He's back again. You know, they're looking. Oh, there's a big communication problem right there. And there's your man. Good block on the outside. Again, Max was involved. And back inside to Webster. He wins that one. Good block on the outside. As I said, that's where Webster explodes out to his left side. Nice job. Yeah, right now it is a back and forth, and the game's all about momentum, right? But you can see where the game is being laid out. So if you look at Georgian, they want to dominate the middle against Wagner, and then on the other side you've got the rotation we're in right now, where Trevor McLaughlin is over the top of the setter for Georgian, advantage Mohawk in that case. Although we just ran a pipe with Eric coming out of the backcourt. Very, very effective call. Again, Chris Spack is calling a really good game right now.
And we're used to seeing that as Chris Spack, always so dominant as a setter. His sets are always perfect, and he knows what spots to set and when. Now, back underway here at the D-Bar. Trevor McLaughlin serving for the set. And they win the first set. Trevor McLaughlin with his spinner gets it over, and Mohawk wins the first set 25-23.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the set, it looked like the serving target for Mohawk was number 8 on Georgian's. And that last swing, albeit it was a great serve, Ricala is the guy, Trevor Ricala, they're going after. And it looked like, he couldn't handle that back spin. Now, albeit that was a heck of a serve on Trevor's part, as we know. But an interesting game. Like it's starting. We've already sort of laid the blueprint going forward here, Kyle, because now we know what both teams think they can do against the other, and now it'll be up to the coaches to make the decisions, the adjustments, how they're going to, for instance, how is Matt's team going to take away the middle attack when Wagner's in the forecourt, and conversely, what is Georgian going to do when Trevor McLaughlin's over their setter, right? So a lot of interesting. Let's see what the second set brings, Kyle.
So yeah, thinking back to that first set, I mean, Mohawks had a week to prepare for this match, and it's different when you're preparing for someone like Grimm in practice to when you actually face him and you realize how lethal he is from everywhere on the court.
Yeah, well, you can kind of approach it from two different ways when you're coaching against him. Either you can try and block him, or you can try and limit him. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's a different mindset. But you can either try and get the setter to not be able to get the ball to him. So you want to get their team out of system, so the setter has to make other decisions than throwing it out to Grimm, right? Or when Grimm gets the ball, you can try and adjust your defense to shut him down and force him in or funnel him into what you want to do. And I know how Matt coaches. He really sets up his backcourt specifically for the tendencies of hitters. Now, Grimm's a pretty good hitter, so we'll see what Matt's going to do. But, Matt Chinar knows his stuff, and Reed Saxby on the other side, he's been around a long time too, so there'll be some changes made on both sides, I'm sure.
And the atmosphere here at the D-Bark, we had 2 basketball games early on, and there was more people for those games than there is here, but you couldn't tell there was that many people here. There's just a lot of spectators, but for here, you like to see, like you said, the women's varsity teams here for both sides. It looks like some Georgian players made the trip from Barrie, so nice to see the support by both schools.
Well, volleyball, like our programs are getting stronger. Matt's always had a good program. We had a really competitive year this year, so I was really pleased with our girls program as well. We've got some really fine recruits coming into next year's program. So this crowd for a volleyball match is going to be the norm next year, and I know we'll continue to build the excitement as 2016, 2017 continues along here.
It's always exciting because it's always fun to watch volleyball in person, especially from the commentating side too. It's an entertaining sport. It's especially this high level, women's and men's at the OCAA college university level. Just fun to watch. But both teams are back on the court here, and the guy who ended the first set, Trevor McLaughlin, is back to start things off in the second set. Very consistent with that spinner serve. And something about McLaughlin, I remember from the start of the year, he wasn't very consistent with his spinner. He would miss a few too many times, and Matt Schnarr or him would decide just to do a floater. And now, recently, he's been very consistent with it, and that's what you got to love to see if you're Coach Matt Schnarr.
Yeah, a spinner is a hard serve to control. Great job by Gerard there. Spinner's a really hard serve to control, and it's a confidence serve too. Timing and confidence, and now you can see Trevor's got confidence in what he's doing. When he's got it, it's in. There's no question. Good finish by Gerard there.
Exactly, with the whole throw, the steps into it, and the power, and a lot goes into it compared to just a normal floater. But that one just misses the back line. Good call by Haynes and Nguyen back there.
Yeah, there's the sort of inconsistency of a spinner. If you get just a little bit too high, that ball's going to go long on you.
Another guy who likes to do the spinner, Liam Gray on Georgian. He has more of a slicing spinner, but that's...
He caught it going down too. That makes a big difference. So, he's left-handed, and that's going to come across his body a little bit. So, a little harder to control that type of spin with a left-handed swing.
You think back to how Georgian only lost the first set by 2. They missed 3 serves early on. So that's something they want to cut if they want to not go there. And I mean, Grimm again.
Yeah, you're going to find him. You're going to try and find that kid all over the court. Yeah. And the one thing is Mohawk has to be, and they are. I know they're very keyed in on where he is.
Now he's back to serve. Throws it up. This one rolls over the tape. Tight towards the net. It's just tipped over. Gray with the quick. Coach Saxby loves that, as that quick was nice. Gray caught Kerr already up. Perfect quick set, and ties this match at 3.
Liam knows where he wants to go. Like I said in the first set, they see a domination situation in that middle right now. And Wagner's going to have a hard day all night. Oh, sorry, a hard night. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt, Colin. You just said about it. They came out of the first set and they gave up 5 of the first 8 points. They've now given up 3 of 4 to Mohawk to start the second set.
Here's Hancock. Just gets this one over the net. Nice serve. That one gets blocked. Nguyen saves it up to Grimm. Wagner goes up and gets stuffed at the net.
That was pretty impressive by Matt Kerr. That was pretty impressive. That man got off the ground well. He read the trajectory of the ball. He put on top of that pretty quick.
It's back to serve. It's back out to Gerard, and a huge block.
Still up. Came off
saved.
the foot. Yeah, great job.
Grimm to Gray. Out to Rakela. That one looked like it just hit his hand weird. Is it? From the moment it hit his hand, you could tell it had no chance of landing in.
Yeah, he was. He might have just overjumped that ball a little bit. He expected that maybe a little bit quicker than he got there.
5-4 Mohawk leads. Gerard serves this one right over the net. Nice pass up by Rakela. The quick to Haynes.
Yeah, this is. I'm going to go back to it again. That's going to be a battle. That's going to be a battle for Wagner all night. You know, Matt might have to look at changing his blocking scheme against Wagner in the middle here. Against number 18 is
Matt Kerr.
Matt Kerr, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, Matt Kerr. Right now, Georgian is shooting themselves in the foot, though. That's for sure.
Yep, they have three missed serves so far. Mohawk has 6 points, so half the points so far they've just given to Mohawk. And then you have that Rakela hit that just went far. This is some pretty sloppy volleyball to start the second set.
Yeah, lots of mistakes on both parts. I mean, everybody understands the gravity of this match, right? It's win, you go on, lose, you're gone. You finish, your season's over. There's already been some upsets today.
Gerard to Spack. Out to McLaughlin. Blocked. And Gerard jumps back for it. Just out of his reach. Huge play by Georgian.
Yeah, you'll see with Mohawk, they cover really close. Everybody comes close and no one stays deep, which is normal. You know, you need someone a little bit deeper, that ball be picked up, but Matt gets everybody tight on his bunch.
And Chris Spack loves that dump. And I mean, you can relate to this. During the women's game, Yvonne Mann, I can't remember how many times I've commented on that. Is she was so smart when she did that every single time.
She got 41 kills this year, Kyle, and that's all mostly on the dump. Yeah, we had a goal for her. Her goal was 3 to 4 kills a match or set, and she usually got pretty close to that. She was pretty good. So it always catches defenses off, especially in the men's game. You know, it's a huge advantage. You got a setter who can dump.
And then especially you have a smart setter who knows when to do it, because you can't just dump it over whenever. Right. She was smart with it, just like Chris Spack.
That was nice attack from the backcourt. Again, Eric Gerard came through, and that's what we call second tempo. He came in from the backcourt, basically ran a pipe, and then just tipped it over the top of the block. Really smart play on his part. Great call again by Spack. Very
back and forth. Mohawk's already been through one rotation here as McLaughlin's back to serve. We're back at 8-8. McLaughlin serves this one long. The story of the second set so far is missed serves and giving the other team points.
Hey, it's a freebie if you don't make them play defense. It's a great game.
So we'll see how teams start to settle in more, but I'm sure the crowd is just getting their energy up. So see what happens here is Gerard with an unforced error there, sends that one right into the net.
Yeah, that's too bad because Spack worked really hard to get that ball up, and a little bit of lack of concentration on Gerard's part there.
Gray had a nice serve last time, so we'll see what he does here with his cutting spinner. Spack out to Gerard. One's off the sticks.
Yeah.
A point for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, right off the pin. He was trying to go line, and he caught a little bit too sharp and caught the pin on that one.
Seems like Gray has found his consistency with that serve. Spack with the back set. Gerard just sends it over. Gray. Back row to Haynes.
Oh, that's a bad injury. That's a real bad injury. He's got an elbow in the face and a bad cut. Yeah, that's a real bad one. He got they went up for a block, and the middle came down, sort of caught him with his elbow. You see number 18 there just grabbing his elbow because he caught him directly under the eye. Big cut under his eye. That's really unfortunate. They're going to check to see if there's any blood on Kerr's elbow. If we
The
get
court, just double checking the court for blood. It looks it's okay
yeah.
right now, but Grimm's getting worked on the sideline. Pretty big gash under his right eye.
Yeah, he came down like literally they were both up in the air, and just as the swung happened, Kerr's elbows literally caught him right under the eye, right on the cheekbone, and gashed it open. And the physio for Georgian right now are looking at him. See if his eye can stay open a little bit. That'll be the big thing. If they can always close the cut up, but at the end of the day, is his eye going to be able to stay open, because that took quite a heavy knock. So let's just talk about what's happening with the game here. I mean, at the end of the day, you touched on it a couple of times. It's a game of mistakes right now, and at the end, as we stand, if you take away the serving errors, it's probably a 5-5 match. And right now it's 11-9 Georgian, but they've got to start putting the ball in play at the end of the day. And you mentioned with the setter, he's getting up there and he's got his left hand spinner happening, and that's always going to cut heavily to what we call P5 on the court, playing good defense on that one as well. So we'll see what Mohawk's going to do. Nothing's changed as far as the strategy of the attack on both parts, Kyle. And if you see that there's domination right now, we've got Wagner in the forecourt. So depending on what happens with Grimm, more than likely they're going to go back in the middle, see if they can dominate that middle again. And then conversely, now Charlie's on the court too for Mohawk. But conversely, you'll see if they can continue to attack down the pipe with Gerard and with McLaughlin, or when McLaughlin gets to the front row, you probably swing left side.
And we'll see how this affects Georgian, as their top player Grimm is out for a bit, and Steven Poprosky enters the match. So we'll see how long Grimm is out for. Doesn't affect him here, as you see the new sub Poprosky come in and say, no, I didn't touch that. So that one just sailed along, as he's back to serve now. Like to see players like him step up in situations like this, so your coach knows he can put you in whenever.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, Grimm only played 14 matches, so I'm assuming that Poprosky had quite a lot of playing time earlier in the season before Grimm got here.
Especially with such a small Georgian roster.
Yeah, 10
so you
players.
look, Haynes is on the bench right now, as Nguyen lives from in the back row, and there's just one person extra on the bench.
That's a lonely man over there.
You see Grimm, he's got a bandage on. If his eye is okay and he can see, might see him soon, but back and forth here as Max Anderson enters the game for Charlie Hancock.
Yeah, Charlie goes out. Charlie's still working with his injury, so this is, you try to limit him as much as you can. And Max been playing pretty well.
Max, another one who likes that spinner. Gray, all the way out to Rakella. McLaughlin saves it, and Gerard gets it over. Nguyen to Gray, out to Rakella, blocked by Spack. Gray, the quick, a huge block in the middle, and there's Paul Wagner stepping up.
Yeah, as I said, you know, that's Georgian's go-to right now in this rotation, and Wagner read it right that time, and he's right on top, and they actually double blocked that middle too. So there's a little bit of a strategy change there on Mohawk's part.
Anderson, right to Nguyen, who gets it up. Gray, and Kerr sends it over. Back row, McLaughlin. This one rolls over the net. Good call by Anderson, as he knew that one was going to land wide, and a timeout will be called by Georgian. They're going to try and settle things down here and see when Grimm will be good to come back.
Yeah, this is probably a twofold type of timeout. Firstly, just to make sure that the advantage stays on Georgian's side, make sure that Mohawk loses a little bit of momentum, but more so, and you just touched on it, is see if we can get Grimm a little bit more time to get ready and to get a chance to come in. And he's just going for some water now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him right out of this timeout. Like I said, the big issue when you've got a big knock on that type of that area of your face is your eye going to close up?
Yeah.
It's always the thing with boxers. they get a shot in the eye and they get a little gash, and then all of a sudden the eye just closes right up in a heartbeat.
Just getting all the blood off his face and his shirt and possibly his jersey. But he doesn't even look like anything happened to him. Just got a little patched up a bit.
Yeah, they're going to have to make sure before he comes in there's no blood on his jersey, as you just suggested. He's going to check him out here. And that's what Teresa's doing. The down official's doing. She's checking to see if there's any blood on the shirt or on the arms.
Nice to see someone like Grimm come back into the game, only missing a couple points after, and then you see Kerr go over to him, smile, give him a high five, saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean that by any means." And Nguyen, right to Gray, back row Grimm, and you can see how much they miss Grimm.
I was just gonna say, I just looked at the setter, and he gave a signal to Grimm that Grimm was gonna get that ball. When you were talking, I was just gonna say, make you bet that Grimm's getting this ball.
Kerr with a nice serve over. Spack to Gerard. Oh. You see Haynes this time is blocked there as Gerard, what every hitter loves to see, go up, and no block was there.
What you'll see in the men's game is it's a machismo thing, right? Like, if you're going to hit hard, I'm going to hit harder. And Eric Gerard just answered back on Grimm there. Oh, great cut. That was a sweet cut. That was a really nice swing.
Haynes and Grimm are the tallest players on Georgian, both standing at 6'5". Both play very different game. As you see, Haynes, he loves the quick and he's very directional with his hits. But Grimm hanging it from anywhere with insane amounts of power. And a huge stuff by Haynes.
Yeah, it's
Haynes and Rakela go up together.
That's a timing thing. You got a guy coming out of the backcourt. You've got to delay yourself at the net. Make sure you don't jump too early. And they are right on that block.
Then Tonin, the tight pass up. And it looks like Tonin cut in front of Gerard there.
Yeah, Benny knows better. That's, you're in motion. You don't have a lot of control on that ball. You got to set yourself before you make that pass. And
the lib is a position that Matt Schneider switched around all year long since day one. It was Dashford, it was Falk, it was Tonin.
Yeah, it's the hard. It's one of the hardest positions to play. You've over the last couple of years with the girls program, we've been looking for a libero for better part of 5 years, and this year we had Alessandra Assaf.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She is. We think the best libero in the league.
Tonin passes it up to Spack. Back row Gerard. Grimm gets it. And Grimm tells Kerr to just send the free ball over. Spack. Wagner. And you see Chris Spack there go down to send it up more.
Yeah,
Wagner.
Chris has got he's got great body control. And you watch him play, you just got to applaud his hands and his body control. He really runs a nice game.
Chris Dashford now enters the game. Matt Schneider likes to make substitutions with serving, but it's definitely not what you want to do if you're Chris Dashford.
Yeah, that's a tough position. That's called the DS position. You go in and serve. You're basically a defensive player who goes and serves, and your job is to serve. It's pretty tough when you're sitting there and all of a sudden you've got to go in and do that job.
Especially, and then if you miss, it's just hard on you. And there, Gray and Haynes got hands on it. Couldn't get it up, but Georgian has a 19-15 lead right now, so they're nearing the end of the second set.
Well, this is where Mohawk made a bit of a run the last set, so feel pretty comfortable now. Now Spack has 3 hitting options in his forecourt, plus Eric Gerard coming out of the pipes, so he's got a lot of attacking options. That's a short serve.
High short serve. Nguyen gets it up. Grimm goes up. That one looks like it hit the sticks. So Mohawk cutting into this deficit here, only down 3. Chris Spack.
Let's see if Mohawk puts a triple block up against Grimm on the left side here.
Nguyen, Gray, Haynes gets stuffed.
Nice.
Smart play.
That was great. Sorry, Kyle. That was great blocking scheme by Matt. You see Matt get off his bench, and he's setting his blockers and his backcourt defenders. He had them bunched right now, and they were right on top of that swing. Very good coaching by Matt Schnarr there. Got a little moisture, a little sweat down on the court.
It's all about experience, too, if you look at it. It's Matt Schnarr's 8th year coaching this team, so he's seen a lot. And it's not even just this. I know he coaches other teams, too, so he's been around the sport probably his whole life. So
he's coached. He took over the Burlington Blaze from me, and I had it for 19 years. He's done a really good job with that youth group as well. Very smart coach.
Grimm, so powerful, and Gerard was in the right position. Just too much to handle.
Yeah, you got to hope that your block gets something on that, and he just swung through that block. So Eric Gerard didn't have much of a chance.
Haynes serves this one. McLaughlin, it's back to McLaughlin. Grimm gets his hands on it. Nguyen. And Kerr sends this one over. Kerr's back set to McLaughlin.
If you look at the blocking there with Grimm, he went to block line, and Trevor McLaughlin cut inside. Trevor's going to swing most time. They're going to swing cross court, so you bring the block inside.
McLaughlin composing himself before he serves. Ooh. Serves that one right into the net. It's the 5th missed serve so far.
That hurts. Yeah, Trevor's, like I said, that jump serve, that's, either you're right on it or you're not. And it's a really hard serve to control.
When it's effective, it's tough to get up, but it's so inconsistent. It's like, do you want to take that risk sometimes?
Yeah, my rule is if you could do that 7 out of 10 times in practice, you can do that in a match. But 7 out of 10, that's 70%. That's awful tough.
Haynes gets it up. Gray out to Grimm. Off the block. Smart play by Gray. Good court awareness to know that he was basically standing on the outline.
Yeah.
And when he reached up for it, was out. You see how pumped up this Georgian team is.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Charlie Hancock, too. Charlie was right on that block, and he's a little frustrated with himself because it's hard when you've got it.
It's been a pretty exciting second set. I mean, let's take a look at what's been going down here at the D-Bark.
Well, there's that middle attack we've talked about. This is domination in the middle right now. There's another opportunity. Nice block. Great job there.
Smart play by Kerr there to know to go up for the block instead of trying to hit it.
Nice job. Nice dump by Spack. We talked about that one. And there's that middle domination. Good block. They read that well. Double block in the middle. And Max didn't get that one. Nice push back again. It just looks to me like you see the replay here, Kyle. Right now, the majority of the net battle is being won by, although you can't tell without a couple, but you can. Georgian is doing a really good job on blocking here. They're reading the hitters quite well. So that could be, that's a bit of a difference when you're looking at 4-point differential.
Gray, the nice slicer, gets it over. Gerard goes up. A huge block by Kerr.
My point exactly.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It just looks like Georgia is right on these hitters. They're really dominating that block. They have a good understanding of what they want to do with their blocking schemes right now.
Gray very consistent with the serve since the first rotation. Hancock tips it over. Gray, the quick. Kerr gets blocked by Charlton. Out to Grimm. Gerard, Spack. Back row. Nice play right there by Rakella. And Grimm sends a free ball deep. Tonin to Spack. Out to Gerard. Off the block. And Grimm saves it, sends it deep, but Tonin was ready for that one. Gerard again. Great rally there. Both teams show they can play really well defensively.
Yeah, that's good. You've got good backcourt defense. In that case, the block wasn't doing a lot, but great backcourt defense. Again, it's positioning. You've got to know the tendencies of the hitters and position yourself correctly when it's based on percentages of swings, right? We always talk about a spray chart. There's a spray chart. Every hitter likes a certain swing.
Cody Charlton back to serve. Trying to spark a little Mohawk rally. Get back into this one as Georgian's up 23-19. Nguyen to Gray. And Grimm tips it over.
That's just smart volleyball. That's really smart volleyball. Had a double block against him. They brought the left side to close on the middle on him, and he just saw that opening and dropped it into that hole.
Grimm, the fourth-year veteran out of Orangeville, Ontario, serving for the set. Sends that one long.
That's not the time you want to do that.
See how they come back from this. It's Georgian up 24-20. Mohawk can't give up another point. Hancock gets this one over Nguyen. Gray. Kerr gets blocked. Grimm was ready. Again off the block. Tonin. It's back. Gerard. Nice. A huge kill for Eric Gerard right there.
Yeah,
they keep beating him. Last rally he got stuffed a few times. They played good defense on him, but you know someone as efficient as Gerard isn't going to let a few good defensive plays stop him.
Yeah, if you look at that last little combination there, Eric went cross court, and they were on both those swings, and then the final put away, he went line, so he had to change the trajectory of his swing to score a point, right? And as I said, when you're looking at players, we all do game tape review, and you really key on the spray chart, on the percentages that players like to swing. And in that case, they kind of knew that Eric likes that cross-court swing, and the final swing, he knew, okay, they've got me cross-court, I got to go to the line and score a point.
Exactly. When you think about this match, the amount of preparation, the practice work, the classroom work you could call it, watching the game tape, and then the players on their own time, how much they want to study the other team. So it's not just show up and play. There's a lot of preparation hours put into it, and you would know for sure being a coach and all. And then it's just how much the players want it. If they want to spend that extra hour or two a week studying their opponent, they'll be that much better on game day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, as a varsity coach, you tell them, we can give you a lot of information, but you're a varsity athlete. You've got to put the time in too. Ooh, that's a bad decision. That's a really bad decision. They were trying to what we call split attack. So your middle and your right side go up at the same time, and the setter decides who he wants to give that ball to. That was just a bad set.
And you see Grimm gather his team and compose everyone. And Grimm from the back row. That one is long. You see McLaughlin tell his team, let's go. They're back in it. Georgians up 24-23. Charlie Hancock serving to stay in it and pull in a tie.
I just saw something that could be really game-changing. Grimm was just signaling to his coach that his eye is bugging him. So keep an eye on, excuse the pun, but keep an eye on this. A nice finish.
A huge block there. And that does it for the second set.
Yeah, you know what? I started to shut down that last point, but I was watching him, and Grimm just actually did the substitution signal to his coach before that last point went down. His eye is bugging him, and you could see as he walked by us there, Kyle, his the underlid to his eye is starting to puff up. So let's keep an eye on it. That could be a huge difference going forward here.
Let's take a look at some replays from the first two sets of action here at the D-Bark. You see the battle between two greats, Gerard and Grimm. Just Gerard from all over the court.
Yeah, I said earlier, right? In the men's game, it's mano a mano, right? So right now you've got Grimm on one side saying, this is what I'm bringing. Can you match me? And Eric Gerard's going, yeah, easy. I can do that, no problem at all. And this is what we see. Gerard is just playing a terrific game out there. But the big thing, I think, the big selling thing going forward, let's see how this eye affects Grimm. Because if he's not in this match is going to be a totally different ball game.
You saw Georgian did go 6 games without Grimm this year, and Tim got some replays from him.
Yeah, he's swinging from all over, as Gerard does as well. You know, this is what they've got to do, and Matt Schnarr probably is well aware of it. You know you're the person who's having a good game against you. So he'll decide if he likes the blocking that he's doing, the blocking scheme they've got going. I know that once, or at least once, he's put up a triple against him. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So, you know, got 25, 23, 23, 25. An interesting match, you know. So we'll see. You just see Matt talking to his starters or talking to his bench, and he's going to be laying down, okay, this is what we did well. And you and I talked about it at the beginning, Kyle. When you look at a 25-23, 25-23 match, that is just unforced errors. And we talked about the missed serves at the beginning in both sets. Those are probably the difference it makes at the end of the set, right?
Exactly. Mohawk won the first one, 25-23. Georgian comes back, wins the second one, 25-23. So now it turns into basically a best 2 out of 3 match here. And this is playoff volleyball. This is playoff OCAA qualifying matchups. And if you look, Grimm is back on the court, so he's good for now. But like you were saying about eyes, swell up. So
yeah,
he didn't get time to ice it. He just patched it up and went back on the court. So
that's a really, that's an interesting point you just made, Kyle. I'm amazed that they haven't given him a bag of ice for that eye, because as everybody knows, you get any sort of contusion on any part of your body, you've got to ice that or it's going to swell up quickly. And if we can get a closer shot at his eye at some point, you probably will see that little bit of puffiness underneath the eyelid, underneath the eye itself, and that's going to be a telling part of this story.
Back underway here. Raquela gets a signal to go from the referee. Serves it right to McLaughlin. Back the quick to Charlton. What a great way to start for the Mountaineers. Cody Charlton, someone's name I haven't said a lot yet, but if he starts to make an impact, look for the ties to turn a bit in Mohawk's favor.
Yeah, they need their middles to step up.
See, McLaughlin decided against the spinner there. And then you see Gerard and Charlton. They were ready for that back set to Haynes, it looked like. So now it's a matter of who's more prepared for who now after 2 sets of back and forth action.
They were fronting the setter, which they have to do in this rotation. That's a good job. Now you're talking about good blocking. So what I mentioned earlier is you've got your left side fronting the setter. So his job is to come inside and help on that block if need be. If he can't get there, then he just drops back and plays defense behind the blocker, which they're doing now.
Got a huge block on Grimm there. And McLaughlin gets it up. Gray dumps this one. Tonin saves it.
Nice pancake on Benny's part.
Grimm goes up. And that one clocks Gerard. You heard that one even through the headphones. That one was loud.
Oh, yeah, man, that was sweet. That was a fine cut shot. That was really, really nice.
It's a great match. A great matchup between these two teams. They're pretty even in their styles they play.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by what Georgian's doing. They were fifth on their side, and we were 4th on our side. Yeah, they're
pretty
surprising
even.
me.
Because if you looked at the East Division, 1st to 5th were separated by 4 points.
Yeah.
So that's how big finishing in 4th or 3rd was in the West for Mohawk was. So, a red-hot Sheridan team took 3rd place from them. 8 in a row they've won. Sheridan's a team to watch out for once you hit OCAA's next
I went
weekend.
to watch them play Niagara the other night, and they were just unconscious. It was such a great match.
I remember when they played here. They were on fire. That's an unforced error by Matt Kerr there.
Yeah.
He wanted to do too much and didn't have enough. Tried to force it too much.
That was interesting because Chris Spack, who was at that time in the backcourt, he went up like he was going to block, and he can't block.
Exactly.
And that threw the hitter off. That was smart play on Spack's part.
Max Anderson misses his serve, so a few unforced errors back and forth here.
As normal.
Exactly. It seems like it starts out like this, but eventually it kind of evens out, and then towards the end, back and forth, back and forth. There's Grimm. Serves that one long.
Good call by the linesman there. That ball was dipping quickly, and the linesman was right on that one.
Gerard double checks the signal from Coach Snar. Serves this one right at Grimm. Gray with the bump set. This one gets rolled over. Tonin, pass up to Spack. The quick to Wagner. Nice play there by Kerr to just get it over. Spack out to McLaughlin this time. Off the hands of Kerr and off the stick, so another point for the Mountaineers.
I got to say one thing, the officiating tonight is excellent. They're doing this group is doing a really, really good job.
Stepping up to the plate, because especially in a game like this, winner goes home. Two evenly matched teams. A trip to the OCAA is on the line, so you know how big this is.
Indeed. Oh, great save by Eric.
Max Anderson gets it up and just gets it over. You thought there's going to be miscommunication, but Tonin, the huge play.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
tight. That's tight.
Oh,
but
McLaughlin.
I just gave Dave a kudos, and what did he do? Well, pretty cool. That's close. That's close, but it's probably the right call. There you go.
Kerr sends that one right into the net. It dipped way too early. Mohawk has an 8-4 advantage in this third set.
We always say there's volleyball gods, Kyle. That was volleyball gods. Interesting call, and then you get the serve into the net.
Paul Wagner with very consistent with the serves. Gray gets blocked.
Oh, great pancake.
And it's saved. And Charlton gets it over. Tight to the net.
Nice set.
Rakilla, it's stuffed by Chris Spack.
Oh.
He's pumped up after that one, ran right towards us here at the table, and you saw the emotion on his face after that.
Well, two brilliant plays on that play. I mean, McLaughlin got down for the pancake to save it, and then Spack got off the ground like a, I don't know what, a giraffe. He grew inches when he got up for that block.
Grimm to Gray. Rakilla again. McLaughlin, the nice pass up. Spack, back to McLaughlin. Just pushes this one over. Nguyen. Rakella tips this one high. Good awareness by Anderson to get it. Back row Gerard. Right into the tape. See Gerard fly from the back row.
Yeah, good decision, though, again, by Chris Spack. It's a tough one to play, but, it's timing from coming out of the backcourt. A pipe is a hard ball to hit. It has to be set correctly.
Oh, a very friendly Georgian roll there. Backs it. Anderson. See Rakella, love that. Just flicked it down. And a huge hit by McLaughlin there. It seems like when that one landed, everyone on both sides of the court just turned to look at the referee, as Georgian was kind of in shock with that one. They didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. You have to give the credit to Chris Spack. He is making some really good setting decisions here.
Nguyen. Gray to Haynes. That one is out. Good pass up by Nguyen. Nice set by Gray. But Haynes tried to be a little too directional with that one as it cut.
What they're trying to do is they're going to Nguyen and seeing if they can take away this middle attack. So here you go again, right? So they have to go outside. No, still trying to go in the middle. What they're trying to do is limit that middle attack, because they know right now that's a real target, a real opportunity for Georgian to score points. So that's a good coaching decision. Unfortunately, the setter made a really good save set on that one. Rakella,
the southpaw, sends that one deep. That one landed right on the corner.
Yeah, that was.
I thought it landed right on the corner.
I agree with you, Carl. I do. I agree with you.
Tough to watch that one go, but perfect placement by Rakella. He's serving in the far corner, cross court, right on the corner. What a perfect serve.
That was nice.
Serves that one at Gerard. No control there. Ball comes right towards us, and a couple of quick points for Georgian. Mohawks only up 11-8. Rakella. A very simple serve, but he places it well.
Nice job by Spack.
McLaughlin goes up, and you see as soon as he hit that one before he even landed on the ground, he was frustrated with himself.
I'm just looking at Coach Schnard. He's not too happy either. He's building a migraine headache here, I think. It's the momentum thing. We talked about it.
Exactly.
You know, this game is all about momentum.
It's back
Nice
to
job.
Anderson off the
Great
block. You see, you have to side out. You side out, get the serve back. Someone like McLaughlin, if he does his spinner, can get you rolling a bit.
Yeah,
you never
nice
know.
job.
Like
Nice
you
job.
said, all about momentum.
Yeah, it's good. That was a good decision again outside, trying to get over that setter.
McLaughlin sends this one to Nguyen.
Outside.
Gray. Haynes gets stuffed by Gerard and Charlton. And you see Gerard do the little John Cena, you can't see me. It's always fun to see the players when they do a little celly because they get very into it. And you know they're into it when they do little celebrations like that. Gray out to Grimm. Pushed it over. It seemed like it caught Mohawk off guard there.
Yeah. Again, Matt Schnard, he expected Derek to drop back in defense, and he didn't. He kind of got lost in no man's land, and that's Eric's ball. But what they've done is they've really they've limited Grimm in this set. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Huge kill by Gerard. Even if he does make an error, you can always count on him to come right back.
He's the guy's a winner. The guy's a winner.
He said he leads Mohawk and the points per set, kills per set, kills, and total attacks. Out to Grimm.
Great job.
Seemed
Great
like
job.
mistimed his jump just a little bit. He was in the air a little too long, and the block was ready for that one.
You know what I really liked about that? Max really set a really strong block on that and allowed Wagner to get over and close that.
Charlton serves this one right to Rakella. Gray, back to Grimm. This time just Anderson went up for the block, and you see what Grimm can do. You send up no blockers, a single blocker. It's probably going to be the same outcome most of the time, so got to send up a double or even a triple.
Yeah, that was a nice play run by Georgian, but again, Max sets the block, and you hope that middle's going to close, and just because the execution was excellent. There's another piece of fine execution from volleyball.
Paul Wagner at the halfway point in the season. If you remember the first half, Bryce Markison, he was a 7-foot giant in the middle, and once he left halfway through the year, that left a massive gap for Mohawk to fill, and Paul Wagner definitely helping fill that gap. As the rookie stepped up, starting in a qualifying game. Another point for the Grizzlies. Talking about Wagner.
Yeah, I talked to Matt about Wagner earlier, and he was just raving about the progression of that young man. And it's tough to step in, and Bryce was, as you said, 7-footer, but Wagner brings a different dynamic as well. He's a bit quicker. He'll get to space quicker. He's going to grow. I mean, this is obviously his beginning, his OCAA career. He's going to grow exponentially over the next few years.
And you always know you have a bright future with him as a rookie. Fliss is a rookie. A few other rookies on this team who it sucks they have to sit on the bench this year, but it pays off in your second or third year when you're a
you
weapon.
build a program, and at the end of the day, you're building a program, right? Ooh, that's a lift.
Exactly.
That's a lift by SPAC. But at the end of the day, it's recruiting. John Hillis does a really good, one of the assistant coaches for Mohawk. He does a really good job recruiting, and Matt goes out. Matt's got the old golden tongue thing going, and he really talks guys into things. And he's, they're bringing in talent continually.
And I mean, Mohawk has a pretty good history to recruit people, as last year they were OCAA bronze medalists. So you look up here at the gym, 2013-14 men's volleyball OCAA champion, 2007-08. So they bring a lot to the table when new recruits come around.
Well, you show, it's the program. People will see it. And like I said, it's taken us a while to bring the women's program back, and we had a good year this year, and I know we're going to have a great year next year. So future in volleyball in Mohawk is going to be pretty impressive.
The one game that still brings back memories is that 5-set thriller you had against Cambrian.
Yeah, that was pretty special. That was good volleyball, and then we played tremendously well against Fanchore as well, and those were the highlights of our season.
It was a fun game to call when you guys played Cambrian, as it went 2 hours and a bit.
It did, yeah. It was pretty impressive.
And Chris Spack right there with a setter's type of kill, you like to call it. Pushes it over, catching Georgian off guard.
Yeah,
extending Mohawk's lead to 4.
Smart little setter.
Mohawk up 18-14. Gerard serves that one over right to Grimm. Gray gets it, and Rakella just rolls it over. Anderson, Tonin calls everyone off, sets McLaughlin. And Grimm sticks out his arm for it.
I got it.
And Grimm hasn't been the same since the end of the second set, like you were saying.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I Grimm, you haven't called his name a lot in this set, and when you, as I said in the second set, what you want to do from a coaching point of view, either you're going to shut down that man or you're going to limit that man, and right now they're limiting him, right? So either Georgian is making some different setting decisions, or just simply that the Mohawks defense is limiting Grimm. So they're going to other players, and that's ideally what you want to do as a coach. You want to take that player out of the game, right? So if they're not going to go to Grimm, they're not going to be in this match. Player for player, Mohawk has some pretty good talent. Now, Georgian has hung tough, there's no question about that, but your go-to guy is Grimm. You got to get that man the ball.
And when you think about it, he came off the court rather quickly, got patched up quickly, but you never thought about the amount of pain he could be in. As always hurts when you get hit under the eye, and a vicious elbow, especially from someone like Matt Kerr, a big guy out there, big strong guy. So wonder if he's in pain, but he's been playing well, just not the Grimm that we're used to seeing attacking from everywhere. So we'll see how Georgian comes out of this timeout, trying to side out on Gerard's serve. So we're back underway here at the D-Bark. Gerard right to Nguyen. Gray, the back set. Kerr gets it through the block. It's back row. Gerard rolls that one over. Gray was ready for it. Kerr to Rakella. Gerard passes it up to Spack. Spack to McLaughlin. And Kerr was too far away from the net there when he made contact with the ball.
Spack's getting the ball out there quicker. He's, it's decision making, right? He's getting the ball out there at the right speed, and the block can't get there in time.
Sometimes you don't think about it or appreciate how much the setter has to do. You think, oh, the hitter with the huge kill, but he's got to have the perfect hit the perfect set every time.
Yeah.
The speed, the height, the distance.
The thing with a setter, I mean, they are basically your quarterback, right? They decide how fast this game is going to be played, and Chris Spack is very, very good. So he's making some real fine decisions right now.
Gerard, Spack with the bump set. Gray gets it up. Kerr to Rakella off the block. Gerard gets it up. Spack. McLaughlin, a huge kill for Trevor McLaughlin. And now Stephen Falk will check into the game, replacing Paul Wagner. Mohawks up 21-15. See if Georgian can get a little rally going. It's Falk with a nice serve right at Nguyen. And Gray out to Rakella. Off the block, and Georgian does what they needed to do, side out on Falk's serve.
Yeah,
and now
Spack just got a piece of that and came off the outside of his arm.
Now they'll see what kind of rally they can form. Nice serve, gets it over Gerard. Spack to McLaughlin. Kerr gets it up. And Rakella sends it over. Charlton was ready. And miscommunication there. Charlton just sends it over. Gray, back row to Grimm. And it's saved.
Yeah,
outside of the sticks.
That's out.
So hard to tell from our vantage point, but great effort by Tonin to even go for that one and attempt to get it over.
Good call by Colin McDougall on the far line there. And if you look at the attack that Spack's choosing right now, he's going right over the setter of Georgian for all his attacks, except for that one.
Off the block. Looks like Grimm lost his footing there. He went one way and he should have went the other.
Yeah, it came off the block. It's hard to play defense when the ball comes off the block. You got,
exactly.
You're playing defense 3 meters away on a deflected ball. It's tough.
Chris Spack sends this one short over right to Nguyen. Raquel tips it. McLaughlin was ready for that one. And that's something I don't really see from all the games I've done. I don't think I've seen a ball go through Chris Spack's hands like that.
Yeah, he was more concerned about getting down on his knees before he decided to set that ball.
But good effort by him as that ball was low, so he tried to get up. Georgian down 4. See what Trevor Raquel can do here. Gerard to Spack to Charlton.
Oh, great save.
And Grimm sends it over. Tonin, Spack, Charlton again. If you don't get it once, why not try again? That's exactly what Spack and Charlton do.
Again, great decision making. You run a 31, you get that ball outside and just a little bit outside that middle blocker, and it finds the seam. It's exactly what you want to do. Great decision making there as well.
It's a Route 31's, a Route middles always like to run.
That's out, yep.
And I was going to say, I thought that one went outside the sticks. Great effort by Grimm. Did all he could. But a timeout is called by Georgian. Their second and final timeout. Look at the scoreboard. Mohawks up 24-18. Serving for the set.
Yeah, let's talk about the setter. You made a point earlier. A setter makes a huge difference because the most amazing thing, or the most important thing in a game is how you're going to pick on the other team, right? And the only way that you're going to do that is if your setter does what they are told or what their game plan tells them to do. Like in essence, in this case, Matt Schnarr's told Chris Spack, okay, in this rotation, this is what we're attacking. This rotation, this is what we're attacking. Right now, he's basically going Trevor McLaughlin over the setter, over Liam's head, and then coming a little bit back inside and going one-on-one in the middle, or what we call a push with 31. That ball goes outside, just make that middle blocker move a little bit, and again, still trying to engage that setter's side, right? So this is game planning. This is what Matt Schnarr is very, very good at, and it really comes down to your setter doing what, as a coach, you tell them to do.
Both teams back on the court here at the D-Bark. Trevor McLaughlin back to serve with a 6-point advantage. Serving for the set. Right to Raquel. Gray with the back set. Haynes. Tonin gets it up. Spack. Back set to Anderson. Goes up. Gets blocked by Grimm. McLaughlin sends it out to Gerard. Looked like a setter on that play. What a great play. Mountaineers get the point, and they win the third set, 25-18. One set away from clinching a berth in the OCAA tournament.
Being held at Seneca this year, so it's hop, skip, and a jump for all the supporters from Mohawk as well.
Let's take a look at the OCAA tournament schedule. Starts next Thursday, February 25th, the awards banquet. And then the winner of this game will take on the first place team of the East, Fleming. Very strong school.
Yeah, it's surprising. It's funny. I mean, you look at the let's just have a quick look and see what we got at the replay package as well. This will be interesting. So here we see Spack and his decision making. That's a great set. Good block.
Charlton always lethal from the middle.
That's like I say, Max said a really good block there. And there's Eric getting packed.
That was the one. I think we felt the pain for Gerard.
That's right. Good recycle here. This is a good play. Great job. Trevor McLaughlin got up and put that away. And there's the middle domination that they've gone away from in the third set here. See, it's something. This game is about about game planning, and quite frankly, what Georgian were doing really well in the first two sets, they were not doing in the third set. They weren't trying to dominate the middle the way they did in the first two. And you can't do that. You got to keep feeding what's working for you. You can't change your game plan just based on a set change, which is what happened. Now, to Mohawk's credit, they've done a few things differently. They're bunch blocking a little bit more, which helps, and giving the middle a little bit more help when he's on his own. And when you
look at Georgian's schedule, you see they played 20 matches and 82 sets they played. So they're used to these long 4 or 5 set matches, and look at Mohawk, they've only played 62 sets, so they're not as used to it. But I remember once. I think it was a game against Niagara. They lost 2, won the next 2, lost the 5th set. But they're used to hour and a half, 2-hour long matches. As this match has been going on for an hour 15 so far. Mohawk doesn't want to stay any longer. They want to book their trip to Seneca.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's not talked about a lot, but the travel, when you get on this crossover match, the travel makes a huge difference. Like I was just looking at the results earlier today, and on the women's side, because that's what I do, and on the women's side, the teams that traveled from the west to the east, they lost. So that's pretty surprising. That's and then conversely, Loyalists went from Belleville up to Sudbury and were beaten by Cambrian. So, the travel at this time of year is a huge advantage for the home team. Especially
these teams have been playing since September with tryouts and everything. This Georgian team traveled from Barrie this afternoon to Hamilton. So Grimm gets a prime look there to start off this 4th set, but is denied by the likes of Charlton.
Let's see if they go back to Grimm, because they've got to get him back in this game.
Once he gets going, you never know where you can go from there. Nguyen with the nice pass up Gray. Back out to Grimm. Smart play by him to see the block, push it off the block. Let it land out of bounds there.
Yeah, good coaching on Reed's part there, because he knew that Grimm wasn't effective in that 3rd set, and he says, okay, first 2 balls, let's get our big man going again.
Haynes serves that one. That one was very deep. You saw that's been one of the stories of this match. Missed serves and unforced errors.
Yeah,
untimely.
Especially in the first part of each set. You're right, absolutely right, Kyle.
Yeah, the first part of each set has kind of been a slower kind of, here, you have a point. No, I don't want a point. You take it back kind of thing.
That's right.
And then at the end, it's attack after attack. And another point for the Mountaineers.
I just get a sense, and this is early in the set, but I just get a sense that Mohawk have a real strong understanding of what they want to do to be successful finally in this match. So let's see how things play out here.
Fantastic call there by Haynes. As sometimes you have to hide your middle in the back corner on serves. You don't stand there and do nothing. You stand there and you're a voice to everyone else. You're that extra helper. If it's tight, sometimes it might look in and you might go for it, but you don't have a view like Haynes did. So
that's right. Good
call on his part. Tonin sends that one over. Out to Grimm. A huge hit for Grimm.
I'm going to say it again, Kyle. This is coaching, man. Reed has sat there and said, you know what? Our big man did nothing in that 3rd set. Let's get this guy the ball. And that's what, 4 balls he's got in the first 3 points or 3 points of this match or this set.
A huge serve there. And Wagner gets stuffed by Kerr. This is the Georgian team we saw in the 2nd set. Kind of went away for a bit in that 3rd set, but their season's on the line right now, so they're not going to hold back.
So we talked about it in the first 2 sets, right? Domination by 18 in the middle and getting Grimm the ball. Just early in this 4th set, we're seeing that coming into play. That's a ball on the net there.
Gets it up. And Wagner with the nice little set there. Gray. Out to Grimm. Gets stuffed right there.
Now, you may have noticed that's a 3-man block, right? So Matt said, listen, they're going out to Grimm. Let's get another blocker out there and do something. And you saw Eric go over and close, so 3-man block, and he's not going through that sucker.
So how they counter, too. You see they're starting to feed Grimm, and it's effective for them. So why not do whatever you can to stop it? But you have another weapon like Kerr right in the middle.
Yeah.
So now it's just about instincts where you go up as a blocker, coaching Stroud where to send his blockers. So,
yeah, I want to give Liam a little kudos on that part because we were talking about Chris Back and his decision making, but Liam he knows where the overplay is now. Back again in the middle for Georgian.
Liam is a rookie as well, so pretty impressive. A rookie like Liam Gray to come straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Be a setter for this strong Georgian team. And his serve is what stands out the most to me. It's a little slicing southpaw serve.
It's Ben Tonin was just called with a ball handling, and everyone wasn't too sure if that was correct or not.
It's back. Right to Wagner. Found that little gap between Nguyen and Grimm in the back row.
Yeah, he's finding the seams in the block again, right? Oh, we talked about that before. At 31, he pushes that out just outside of the middle blocker for Georgian. That's a good decision by Spack.
The one thing I like with the way Grimm plays, he always has a smile on his face. No matter what happens, he's always smiling. Even when he got elbowed, he smiled a bit after when Kerr came over to see him.
Well, I tell you, Kyle, if you could hit like him, you'd be smiling a lot too, buddy.
I wish.
Yeah, when you got that type of talent, you are a very happy individual.
Especially a veteran like him, he knows no one's perfect. You're not going to get every hit in, so. Yep. Nice pass up by him there.
Nice.
Tonin, nice play there. Spack out to McLaughlin. You see Gray and Nguyen both stick with their arms like they were ready for it. Then as soon as that one was hit, pull it back.
Yeah.
So smart moves on their part. Nguyen, it's his second year out of Toronto. He's been pretty impressive at the lip position for this Grizzly team.
Oh, man, I tell you, the amount of unforced errors is frightening at times.
Especially in a OCAA qualifying match like this.
And especially on serves. I can't believe how many unforced serving errors there are right now.
The rookie Paul Wagner back to serve. He's very consistent with his serve. Serves right at Grimm, but Gray, the quick. It's nice to get it up. Rakela again. Gray to Haynes. It's the third attack on that set. Dumped over, but Gray was ready. Nguyen. Rakela off the block. Wagner. Spack. Out to McLaughlin. Just off of Gray's forearms there. Mohawks up 8-7 in this fourth set.
Nice swing. Really nice swing. Now, right now, they're bringing Trevor McLaughlin into the middle and make a block as well. So it's making a bit of a change on how they're going to attack, how Georgian's going to attack. That's backcourt. Nice save. Great job.
Get it over in 3. And they're mistiming there on the block. Someone went up, landed. The other guy went up, landed, and then McLaughlin went and got the kill.
Yeah, number 16, Moriarty, he mistimed that badly.
And it looked funny because both of them went up at different times, and McLaughlin just went up and got it down. Nice attempt there by Gray to get it back to Grimm. It's almost too much.
That would be adrenaline going into play there. That was Chris Back his eyes got as big as saucers there.
Yeah, oh, you saw when he turned towards us. He went to hit it, and that's a fantastic play by Sutter if it works. But if it doesn't work, you look
silly.
Exactly, it's a play you wish never happened.
A lot of balls going long here now.
Nice play by Moriarty in the back row to basically duck and get out of the way of that one. He's been back and forth in this fourth set. Mohawk does not want to go to that fifth and decisive set because, up to 15, anything can happen.
Yeah, quick in the middle. No, outside. All right.
Tips.
Good job. That was good. That was Chris Back communicated with his hitters. He called a quick motion with his middle, and then what we call a semi-outside. So the timing was good. First tempo, second tempo, and he gave the ball to second tempo. It was excellent.
Spack with a short serve. Nguyen ready for it. Grimm. Off the block. He didn't get the approach he usually likes to get on that, but got enough and so powerful and smart. Got it over and off the block, and Georgian keeps this one tied at 10. Nice serve there. That one had a lot of movement on it. That one's not outside the sticks, but Grimm goes up and a huge kill by Grimm. Oh my!
I think everybody thought that ball was outside the pin, so everybody kind of slowed down except for Grimm.
And Grimm went up, and I don't think the blockers mistimed it there because he was way up and hammered that one home.
Yeah, no one's defending that. Everybody really did think that ball was out.
And that's the last thing you want to do if you're Rakela. You get a huge momentum swing like that, and you just throw it away.
I would love to know what the unforced errors on serves are right now in this set. They are probably atrocious.
McLaughlin gets this one over. Nguyen. Gray. Back out to Grimm. Tonin gets this one up. McLaughlin. Out to Gerard, who sends the free ball over. See what they do here. Nguyen. Gray. To Haynes. It's blocked. And you see Grimm was ready for it if it did get blocked. But that one went too far wide. And he watched it land out of bounds. Fantastic match. This is what we expected coming in. Two evenly matched teams. And they're showing why they deserve to be in the OCAA tournament.
What a save. Oh, it's down. I thought he got that.
And Chris Spack.
Oh, I thought he got that. That's amazing.
And Charlton was ready for it and just hammered that one down. Tying this one up at 12. Charlton, nice serve right to Nguyen. Gray, out to Grimm. This one's off the block. Gray, back row Haynes. Very powerful hit there.
Very good.
Gerard off the block, Nguyen. Gray to Grimm, off the net. Gets blocked. McKella, Gray. Kerr just tips it over. Anderson saves it. Spack, out to Gerard. Off the block, Nguyen gets it. Gray to Grimm. A huge kill for Grimm. You see how bad this Georgian team wants it. Nguyen gets about a 4-foot jump every time they get a point, it looks like. And Grimm doesn't really show too much emotion. He likes his fist pump. But on that point, double fist pump there. He's pumped. They want this one bad.
That was good. The Mohawk threw a triple block against Grimm, and then on the recycle, they put a double block against him, and they scored through the double block.
Gray with his serve. Anderson goes up, and Gray just puts one hand up for it. You can see he's frustrated with himself there.
He was way too tight. Defensively, Kyle, he was way too tight. He had to be a little bit deeper on that, positioning on that defense.
So one thing I like about having a coach as a color commentator, you notice the small things that a lot of people might not notice.
Yeah.
Here's Anderson, serves it. Grimm makes it look so easy. Tipped over. Gray gets it up. Nguyen, the bump set out to Grimm. Off the block, Gerard gets it up. It's back with the back set.
Ooh. Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, no. Wow. Okay. I don't know if I agree with that, quite frankly. That didn't seem to come off a block to me. I may be wrong, but I don't think that came off the block. Oh, sorry, the ball was out. Sorry, it was. The ball was out. So, yeah, the ref overruled the line person. I'm sorry.
Grimm right into the net. Another unforced error. 14-all is the score here in the fourth set. Mohawk 11 points away from clinching a berth in the OCAA tournament, but Georgian 11 points from forcing a fifth and decisive set. Gray, back row to Grimm.
That's out.
That one lands out. You can see he's shaking his head after he didn't get what he wanted on it, but he just looks at his coach, and his coach like, it's okay. Gives him a signal like, do it again. Like, don't hold back. You're one of the best hitters in the OCAA.
Yeah, you're okay, young man. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, swing again.
Max Anderson ready for that.
Oh, good ball.
Perfect up. Huge block. Take it.
That was a really good defensive play. High ball. You get lots of time to get yourself presented correctly for that swing. Very nice ball. Great defense. Look to Georgian to call a timeout after if Mohawk scores this point. I say.
And Kerr saves it, but Gerard sets it to Spack to Anderson. Grimm was ready for that one. Perfect up. And Wagner saves it. Gerard. McLaughlin just sends a free ball over. Nguyen. Gray. Back row to Grimm. Just tips it over. Anderson. McLaughlin. No touch there. It's a point for Georgian.
That was some good defense all on both sides. I was about to say that both sides were playing strong positional defense there.
Matt Kerr serves this one over. Tonin can't handle that one well, but McLaughlin still gets up. This one's knotted up at 16 again. Both of these teams want a date next Thursday at 1 p.m. with Fleming. Nice serve there. Gerard passes it up. Spack. McLaughlin goes up on the back line. What a hit by McLaughlin.
I think I was just looking at Reed, the Georgian coach, and he wasn't too sure if that was in either. That was a good swing. I'm not too sure that was in either, but that was a good swing either way.
Stephen Falk back in the game for the Mountaineers. And when you come in to serve, the look on Matt Schnarr's face says it all. Just disappointment and frustration.
Yeah,
he
that's a
puts
little
you
bit.
in to serve.
No, that's not. That's just not disappointment. That's disdain. That's another level above disappointment.
Spack with the back set. Anderson comes flying.
Oh man, that was sweet.
When he said that, I didn't see anyone come. Then Anderson from the back row comes flying.
Yeah, that was sweet. That was lovely. That was nice.
Spack, short serve right to Nguyen. Gray to Haynes. Huge play there. You see Gray get down a little, put it up, and Haynes ready for that one.
You know what's really nice about that one, Kyle, is Haynes swung on an angle. He had a double block against him, and he swung just specifically to the right-hand side of the blocker and put it out.
Rakella serves this one over Gerard. Spack, the quick to Charlton. Rakella was ready for that one, but it hit him in the shoulder, upper chest, and he couldn't get enough to get it up to Gray.
Yeah, and Charlton got up and just did a little bit of a flex my muscles thing after he hit that ball. That was smart. That was good.
19-18, Mohawk leads. Nguyen, Gray, out to Grimm, off the block.
That man's height on that swing was excellent. He was flying. Wow, that was very nice.
Tight towards the referee there too, towards the padding, the net, and still managed to get it over and powerful. But here's Gerard, pass up to Spack, back row, McLaughlin flying from the attack line.
If I was Georgian, I'd be going out, regardless of what the block he's gonna face. I'd go out to Grimm and let Grimm win this game for you if you can. I mean, they're down by one, but Grimm's your man, and you're in the rotation that you want to be right now. You got to get the ball to your gun.
Charlton serves this one over. Nguyen, Gray, out to Grimm, rolls this one over.
Oh, that's not
Charlton gets it up. Gerard goes up. What a save by Rakella. Backs it to Anderson. A huge kill for Max Anderson there. Mohawk takes a 2-point advantage.
I'm going to tell you right now, timeout to Georgian, but I'm going to tell you, Grimm, he's overthinking. All he should have done on that ball was swing. Like to roll it when you've got that skill and you're blocking, you know you can beat that block. You don't want to roll that shot. So let's see this. We're going to replay we got on this.
Max Anderson's been playing really well this set. Still can't get over that one where he flew from the back row.
Yeah, it was nice.
And Grimm.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. He can overpower a block. Like that. Like overpower a block, see?
Caught Paul Wagner and Anderson off the net just a little.
Yeah.
And you saw what happened there. And Grimm.
That's nice. He came inside, so that was a triple block against him. And that's great. That's great pipe. That was a great set. Good job. And that was the delay swing we talked about.
Just the placement on some of those hits, the tips.
Yeah, it's on that. I was talking just before the break. The swing the tip that Grimm put up there. He doesn't need to do that. At this time in the match, you are the gun. Go ahead and use your skills. A tip is not going to score at this level. They're too athletic, especially when it goes to the outside. If you want to go to the putt, then you might get something out of it, but not to the outside.
Mohawk leads 21-19. Cody Charlton back to serve. 4 points away from the OCAAs. Out to Grimm. Swings. This one gets blocked. And it lands in. A huge block.
So here's what that timeout was. I tell you the discussion Matt just had. He said, okay, they're going to go out to Grimm. I want a triple block out there. And what you just saw was a triple block against the gun. That's coaching on both sides.
Great coaching by Schnarr. Great play from both teams. Nice pass up. Out to Grimm. Comes to the middle this time.
Yeah.
Charlton Out to Anderson. Stuffed right there.
So let's talk about this, Kyle. So in that timeout, I said to you, you go to your gun, you go to your gun. All the balls went to the gun, right? Matt's sitting on the other bench going, okay, guys, the ball's going to the gun. We need a triple block on that. So this is a good coaching battle going on right now.
Good
Not just
coaching
the players,
battle, good.
It's a good coaching battle.
Gray, clutch serve to get that over. The quick to Wagner. Stuffed by Kerr. Back out to Gerard. And a huge kill by Gerard. Grim,
Inside the
Gerard,
block.
back and forth. You see, the one thing about Schnarr is he acts like one of the players sometimes. They get a huge point. He runs up and down the bench celebrating.
Yeah.
You see him there to get the point. Runs over to tell one of his players something. Mohawks up 23-20. Max Anderson with the serve. That one just missed the back line. You saw.
Well, it's interesting. You talked about the energy that Matt brings to his team. Like, that's the thing that he is able to do, is he instills energy and demand and excitement into his players. He does a really good job with that.
Here's Grimm. And that was into the net.
Oh, that is not good. That is not good. Credit Reed over there. I just looked at Reed, and he fist bumped Grimm because he knew that was, I got nothing to say about that. Good job on Reed's part
Eric
there.
Gerard serving for a berth in the OCAAs. Grimm. Gray goes up. Gerard. Spack. McLaughlin goes up. This one's sent long. Insane match we have here. Every set has been close. So now our unforced error is going to come and bite. Georgian is Matt Kerr back to serve.
He's got a pipe involved here. Oh, that's not good. Nice save by Trevor.
And Anderson sends it over. Kerr. Gray stuffed off of Haynes' head. The quick to Wagner. And that's a point. The Mountaineers win the match. The rookie, Paul Wagner, comes up clutch, gets the point, and the Mohawk Mountaineers are going to the OCAAs. What a match. What a year for this team. And you see, don't discount Georgian. Unbelievable match by Grimm. This entire team. See them giving their coaches a hug. This is the last time they'll play this year. But if they were to go out, what a way to go out. Played strong. Grimm, that nasty gash, played so well. And I mean, let's recap the score. Mohawk 25-23. Georgian battles back, wins 25-23. And Mohawk wins 25-18. Won that thrilling set, 25-22.
Yeah, that was a really well played match on both teams' part. I think if when Reed looks at that game tape, he'll say, okay, that third set, we didn't do what we wanted to do. They went away from their strengths. They really limited Grimm on his attacks, and they didn't dominate the middle, so they lost that set. But certainly, you got to give credit on both sides. And really, at the end of the day, this was a really well coached match on both parts.
Nice class act by Mohawk to give Georgian a nice round of applause.
And the thing is, too, I really like this as well. Mohawk is giving the fans a big thank you, because this was a good crowd. There was good energy in the crowd, and that makes a huge difference to the players on the court.
So it's been a fun season since November. I've been doing games like this, and it's sad to see it all done, but it's just done for me. This Mohawk team is going to the OCAAs. They have a date next Thursday against Fleming, so I'm sure that'll be available if you guys want to watch. But for myself, thank you so much, Coach Andrew Nicholson. It was fun working with you, and it was fun calling your games this year as well. So for me out here at the desk, joined by you, our director Dylan Dvorak, our producer Spencer Halliday, thank you for tuning in this year. But don't worry, we'll be back next year. So thank you, and good luck to Mohawk at the OCAAs.